This is a 2024 Hyundai i20. This is the 1.4 liter CVT 6-speed gearbox one.
But before we get started, let's just admire the nature, guys. I love nature, so I had to look at this first.
I remember when this design came in, it was very controversial. So most people didn't like this design. Most prefer the pre-facelift of this new gen face, which doesn't look bad. It does kind of look a little bit aggressive, especially with the lines that you see on the bonnet. But my only drawbacks are the headlights. The headlights are not LEDs, but when you do go to the fog lights, strangely, they are LEDs, which is very strange. Since this car is cheaper than a Polo, you do see the cost cutting, especially when you start where the indicator lamp is. And if you go to the side, you can see there's another indicator lamp there. And as well, you don't see any indicator on the mirrors. So on the Polo Life, you see the indicators on the mirrors here, which are LEDs. But on the Hyundai, you see it here, which is in the same position that you find on the Polo Vivo. So to make this car cheap, that's the measures that they had to take. You do also get this 15-inch, I can't say rims, wheel caps, while they're upgradable to the 16-inch on the premium platform. And these are actually the nicest wheel caps that I've ever seen. When you do come at the back of the Hyundai i20, you get this headlights unit right here, and they continue to the other one. But the thing is, this is only a reflector, so this doesn't light up, but it does kind of give it like interesting design. And when you do come down, you get this diffuser with 3-spoke fins, as you can see right here, which it's okay. For a hatchback, the boot is kind of deep, as you can see, and I'll put the measurements right here so you can see. But what I found very interesting and more of an afterthought is that the tools, like the triangle, it's stuck by a Velcro thing here, which is very interesting. And another afterthought is how this is packaged. It's just tossed here. So, but at least you do get a full-size spare wheel. But this part, it's really interesting. So this right here is like a last minute assignment submission. It's like they designed the whole car and finished with everything, and we're like, oh no, we have to put a triangle. We forgot to put a triangle. That's why they just decided to like do the Velcro thing and just like stuck it here and call it a day. Now let's get inside. So let me start with the quirks. So one thing to note is that if you are short, you cannot adjust this seat up and down. So the only thing you can do is bring it to the front and to the back and adjust the recline. That's all you can do here. So take note. So since the owner of this car is short, she actually sits on top of a pillow right here. So that's something to note if you are short. Another note to make, if you're a woman and you like to put lipstick on, is that on the driver's side, you don't get any mirror. But on the passenger side, you do get a mirror. And I guess they did that for safety reasons. Another thing that I noticed is that if you do open the door and close it like normal, it's still gonna say that the door is still open. So what you need to do is open the door and close it a bit harder to actually close the door. On the infotainment side, you get an 8-inch wireless Apple CarPlay, and as well as a semi-digital screen. I say digital screen because this side, the both sides here, they're static, but in the middle you can move and set the things that you want to be. So it's sort of a digital, but it's not as advanced as you find on the Polo. I also like to think that Hyundai has mastered the technique of using cheap material. Let me explain. So on the doors is hard plastic, on the dashboard it's hard plastic. Everywhere you see here is hard plastic. Even right here is this cardboardy kind of like cheap material that you find up here. But one thing that surprises me, and I say they've mastered, this interior doesn't creak at all. So this thing is built solid, guys. That is so surprising. Like nothing. It's more solid than a lot of German cars. So they definitely mastered this. One thing to note, if you like resting your hand on an armrest, there's no armrest here. So that's one thing to note. And if you wish to rest your hand on the driver door side, there's no padding here. So this is completely plastic. On this specific model, you also don't find a dual climate control. And since this is a 2024 model, I don't know why they didn't implement USB-C on the ports. So it's still using your normal USB-A ports to charge your phone. So it looks like this one has the fast charging and this one is the normal charging. Another surprising thing is that the seat is in my driving position, so I'm tall. And look at the space at the back. So I'm sitting very comfortably here, but I have so much space. This is very interesting for a small car, because usually on the Polo I have to squeeze myself in, but this space, that's interesting. If you're also wondering, no, there are no USBs at the back. So if you want to charge and you happen to be sitting at the back, you need to ask the front passengers or the drivers to charge for you right there. Also, I think is the last note is that since Hyundai chipped out, you're not gonna get LEDs on the headlights at the top. So all of them are bulbs. So how you know if it's bulb or an LED will glow white, while the light bulbs will glow yellow. So let's get to the engine. So this is a 1.4 liter, naturally aspirated. That means no turbo, which has 4 cylinders and it's producing 74 kilowatts and 133 Newton meters of torque. You may also wonder why the engine is so dirty, because there's no bottom cover for the engine. That's why you can see the grass through. Let me just show you. You see, you can see the grass below here. But that's not a bad thing, because an engine will still run sufficiently. It can get as dirty as possible, but you don't have to clean this part. Let me just show you something else about this car. It's a very interesting design. It has a sport front lip as a diffuser at the back. So when you do buy this car, you don't have to get a front lip, because look how it looks like. Interesting. Okay guys, now driving in the i20, which is the 1.4 liter naturally aspirated. And remember that the CarPlay is wireless. So that's a good thing about this car. You get wireless CarPlay, unlike the Polos and its rivals. You don't get the wireless CarPlay. And as I said, that the car is kinda efficient, and the 73 kilowatts is punchy for the size of this car, because I don't know how much it weighs, but it doesn't weigh as much as the Polo, and I'm gonna put the figures right on the screen. So if I do go flat foot, it does take a while, and it does make that type of noise because it doesn't have any turbo.
This car is about 30,000 Rand cheaper than the Polo. So on this car, you get the wireless Android Auto and CarPlay, while on the Polo as standard, you don't get that. And on this car, you do get a bigger infotainment screen. However, on the Polo, it has a way much better build quality and soft touch on the dashboard, while this you find hard plastic everywhere. However, the Hyundai does give you a longer warranty and it's more reliable at 7 years, while the Polo only gives you 3-year factory warranty. And the Hyundai is free from criminals, while the Polo are targeted every year. So, which one do you pick, the nicer car or the cheaper car with more reliable? If you want reliability, a stress-free life with the hand of the 7-year maintenance plan, rather go for the Hyundai. But if your life is on the urge and you don't mind the 3-year warranty that you get on the Polo and the crime rate targeting the Polo, then go for the Polo. And guys, please subscribe. And that's it for this video. Thank you.